And I am here with King Mala, and last month you released a new single, Eat the Spoon.
Yes.
How was that song sort of born? Did it start with a lyric, the bridge, a riff?
Yeah, so it was the inspo came from one of my favorite movies ever, which is The Witch by Robert Eggers. And for I was making the album, and that was a big inspo for like sonic development and story development. And my manager gifted me the screenplay book. And in the screenplay book, the last section of the screenplay, the end of the movie is Thomason, the main character, being asked by the devil if she would like to eat butter and live deliciously and sell her soul, and she says yes, and then the movie ends. But at the end of the screenplay book, there is an entire section that is like her answer. It's like yes because, and it's this long passage about like all that she desires and how she desires to eat the world and taste all things delicious and experience pleasure, and how her desire has never known a shape, but she's giving it a shape for the first time. And in that passage, she says, I would like to eat berries and cream and butter and all of these things, and I want to eat them off a silver spoon, and then I would like to eat the silver spoon. And I just found that so inspiring. And this entire story is all about desire and its consequences. So that was sort of the inspo for that one.
I love that. That sounds amazing. Um, what do you think it is about our subconscious that we don't often express our wants and desires?
I think it depends on like what your experience is, like especially societally, but as a woman, I think we are discouraged from understanding and exploring our desires because they don't often align with the desires of men. And I don't know, I find that very interesting to explore specifically, but I think in general, we're taught that like it is virtuous to deny our own desire, and somehow we will be like morally rewarded. It's very like religiously coded to deny your own desire. I think it is in the best interest of those who wish to exploit as many people as they can to tell you that the things you want are wrong and you should want the good of the community or the God we believe in or whatever. It's best to deny desire and common sense and critical thinking. Like it's all in an attempt, I think, to keep us subdued and obedient.
I definitely think there's some sort of control mechanism going on with that for sure.
Yeah, girl.
Why was now the right time to release new music? You just had an album out earlier this year.
Yes. Well, we're working on the deluxe album, and there's 5 new songs, and I'm very, very excited about them. And I don't know, it just felt right to release Spoon around, especially around like Halloween. It's a little spooky and fun, but I wanted it to be sort of a appetizer to the rest of the deluxe and also to the tour.
I think that those are two great reasons to kind of tease some new music. Um,
Yeah.
which track on your album should a new listener who's maybe watching this, what's the first song you want them to go to get the best sense of your overall vibe?
Mm. I think maybe God. God is a good like intro course to the vibe, I think.
What song on the album changed the most from the demo version to the
Ooh.
final recording?
Oh, incredible question. Um, I honestly think You Don't Know Me, which is like the ballad. It started out as being like a fully produced out track, like drums, guitar, piano, all of these things. And eventually we stripped it down to like just the vocals, and we had our friend Andre Bertonet come in and play piano on it, and he played with no click. He just listened to the piano and played along, and sort of it created this like really like alive quality to it, and it just ended up being the vocals and the piano, which is really cool. But it was like more of a full production originally, and then we sort of took elements away one by one and realized that we wanted it to be very, very sparse. So that's probably the most different. Same with Sweet Lamb. That also started out being more complicated, and then we like slowly took things away until it felt correct, which is rarely what you do. Usually you add stuff until it makes sense, but I'm so happy we did it. They feel so like intimate.
Speaking of the tour earlier on, what do you feel that you bring to your live show that's different from your recordings?
I honestly think like in the recordings it feels very intimate and quiet and close, and the live shows feel very like expressive. Like I feel like I perform the songs in a way that I would never perform them in a vocal booth, you know? Like I feel like I am like embodying the character and like really passionately performing the songs in a way that I would definitely like hold back from recording, just because I always feel like I prefer to maintain like a very subtle performance on the live or on the recordings, just because I feel like it creates a feeling of intimacy and closeness when you're listening. But live I want to like experience it with people, and I just feel like we create me and the audience create this like energy together, like we're like very locked in together. So that's something that I think you have to experience live, and the songs sound different and we add a lot of things to them, and we create like a very different world for them to live in live than they do on the record.
On that note, where do you find the most catharsis or release in the songwriting, the recording, or the performing part?
I honestly think the songwriting is the part that feels the most like cathartic to me, because to me it's like cracking some sort of code that explains like a thing I don't know how to explain. And that feeling is very, very cathartic. Especially like this album was very narrative and was like a world and a universe and characters that I created, but I feel like I was writing about things that I didn't realize I was writing about until much later. And listening back to them, I'm like, oh my God, I was like getting some stuff out, which I did not realize I was. So for me, I'm a studio rat. I love to songwrite. That's my favorite part. But I also just love experiencing the songs live, and they take on a whole new life with the band and with the audience, and getting to see people and see them sing it. Like that's more like a reward rather than a catharsis, I think.
Speaking of, again, that live show, do you try to stay as similar to the recording, or do you feel that you've got the most freedom to experiment when you're playing live?
No, I feel like you should experiment. Like, I really love when I see an artist live and it's like, oh, these are like, this version of the songs only exists like tonight in this moment in this room. I really like that. So I try to add as much as I can and make it feel like fresh and new and alive in the room. Like, I don't ever want it to feel like karaoke. So I try to make it feel as interesting as possible.
All good points. You've got a lot of visualizers and videos
Hmm.
for songs on the album. Who comes up with the treatments for those?
My creative director, who is a genius, wonderful, witchy woman named Marley Hall. She and I banded together on this project, and we're both like horror girlies and very obsessed with like the same kind of aesthetic, and like both of us wanted to be really experimental and strange and ugly and gross with the things we made. Um, and she's just a genius and very detail oriented. She came up with all the treatments. We spoke probably like for like 20 hours over the course of a couple weeks, nailing down what we wanted to do. And anything I mentioned, she made into a reality, which has never happened to me before. I feel like I'm always like, what if we did this? And people are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I was like, I want to do mud wrestle. I want to mud wrestle a blow up doll. And she was like, period, done. And is like, figures out every little detail that we need. Um, and it's just absolutely incredible. But I give her all the credit. She brings everything to life.
Is there a small, easily overlooked detail in one of your videos that you're really proud of, but maybe someone who's not paying close attention would miss?
Um, there's actually like a ton of things that interconnect throughout all of the videos, because again, Marley is like crazy and amazing. But one of my favorites is the Little Death Visualizer is a recreation of a painting that we love. And it's The Execution of Sisera, which is by Artemisia something. I can't remember her name exactly, but this incredible female painter, and it's a woman taking a nail to her sleeping husband's head and killing him. And so we recreated that for the Little Death Visualizer. And in the devotion visualizer, that painting is on the wall in the motel room. And I really love that.
Love a good Easter egg. I love that.
Yes.
What role do you think music videos have in 2025 when we haven't had a channel dedicated to it in a really long time?
I honestly feel like it's a place for like fans to go and like live in a true world, especially when we are so consumed by short form content, like things that come in and out of our brains so quickly. It feels like music videos are a place to like experience like a true art form. And I think they're coming back. I think a lot of artists are like putting a lot of thought and artistic energy into their music videos and making them very artistic and interesting. And I think there's a lot of reward in creating a universe. I think people get a taste of what you do and want more, so that's where they can go, you know.
Speaking of that short form, when you're putting out new music or you're touring, how do you balance being an authentic person and kind of promoting that stuff when it comes to your social media?
Oh, girl, I'm trying to figure that out, to be honest. I just feel like I am a person who is like very dorky and don't know what to do, and like that's how I sort of interact with my fans. But I don't know, I just try to be authentic and like I'm really excited about this music, and so I try to convey that excitement and be as authentic as possible and also just share all the cool stuff we've made. So it's a balance between me just being like, wow, and like clips of the cool shit we make.
I don't think anyone has a balance that works a thousand
It's so
percent.
confusing.
The algorithm will change the second you figure it out.
Exactly.
We are coming up fast on the end of the year.
Yes.
New Year's resolutions are stupid. So, what goals do you have for the next year?
I would love to tour more. And I'm really excited to start writing album 2. That's all 2026. That's the
Excellent.
plan.
We'll stay tuned for much more from King Mala.
Yes.
This is Jackie. Thanks to In the Key of Change in Chorus FM.